What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video I'm diving into the Jungle Cup with another unique team. Now this one I used a long time ago, multiple years back. Skarmory, Scrafty core with a Vigoroth, and this time Vigoroth is a lot better with that Rock Slide. Now out the gate, some troubles that I saw with this team, or potential troubles, is going to be Talonflame, obviously being able to defeat Skarmory and defeat Scrafty while doing a lot of great damage to Vigoroth. Now this Talonflames I saw were on the back line, which was a lot more manageable for me. You guys are going to see that gameplay today, but obviously Talonflame could be a big core breaker, or maybe Salazzle. So if you're looking to counter this team, maybe try that. If you're looking to run this team, look out for that, right? Okay, let's go ahead and get right into the battles. All right, getting into the first one, we have Skarmory on the lead versus a Clodsire here. Now, Clodsire is not the most offensive Pokemon, right? So I'm not too concerned about the Stone Edge damage. What I'm looking to do is just soften up this Clodsire and load up on energy, maybe with Vigoroth. If I do get switch advantage, that'll be great too. Now, Stone Edge does land there. We're gonna go ahead and go for Sky Attack here. I don't want to be going for Brave Bird at this point. It won't one-shot a Clodsire, and it makes me weaker to Stone Edge, so it is better to just go for the Sky Attacks, as I'm going to go ahead and let them go for a Stone Edge right here. You guys are going to see Skarmory's very tanky in this matchup, and now the next one I could opt to shield if I want to. So what I'm going to look to do here is go for Brave Bird. Sky Attack is not enough damage to knock out from this range, but Brave Bird is, and boom, down it goes. Perfect. Now we do see an Umbreon come in, so I'm going to go ahead and go for Brave Bird right here, the back-to-back, as this will do a lot of neutral damage to the Umbreon. They decide to shield, so I'm going to go ahead and counter swap into Vigoroth now. This is a great opportunity for me to get ahead on energy, because if they stay in, they are weak to Vigoroth. If they swap out, like we see here, Scrafty is going to be aligned to Umbreon now, and that's basically a good game. Now the Superior here, a Pokemon I actually really enjoy playing. I'm going to have to give it a try in this meta, hopefully before the weekly reset. But against the Vigoroth, what I'm looking to do is shield the first charge moves, because I don't want to get hit with the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant will knock out, and I'm trying to apply pressure here with Vigoroth with the Body Slams, because if I can get their final shield, which we will not be able to farm down in time. If I get the final shield, then obviously Scrafty wins. But in this situation, we are going to be able to just come in with Scrafty and just fast move down. And now we have counter and power up punch, and they do decide to surrender. Alright, moving into the next one, Skarmory on the lead versus Superior. Now, this is a very positive matchup for me. My whole team can do well against the Superior, and we will see them swap out into Vigoroth. Vigoroth safe swaps can be a bit tough because you never want to swap out into your own Vigoroth. You could potentially go into Scrafty, but you will have to invest shield to stop the Body Slam, and you're likely going to have to shield both of those in order to win. So what I like to do instead is let this Vigoroth throw a charge move here against Skarmory. On the first one, we're going to go ahead and let the Rock Slide go through. We're going to swap now into our own Vigoroth and look to go for the aggressive farm down. I'm hoping I can fully farm down, but I may not be able to, considering how much energy they have. So I decided to let the Body Slam go through, and now I'm registering that, you know what, they're going to outpace me, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for a Body Slam here and knock out the Vigoroth, as this is going to do enough neutral damage. Now, we're going to probably see the Superior come in, but ultimately, if there's something else in the back, but we do see the Superior come in, so now we're just going to try to go for as many Body Slams as we can before they're forced to throw energy to knock us out, right? Because this is going to do a good amount of damage. We still have switch alignment as well. And they charge attack priority with us, which is perfect, because now I can easily let the Vigoroth go, and then I'm going to look to come in with the Skarmory right here and look to go for Sky Attack. Now they swap out into Talonflame, and this is where I said I could see the potential of Talonflame locking down this team in the right situations. But in the case here, we have a 2-to-1 shield advantage. I know whatever charge move, whether it's Fly or Flame Charge, they're going to be it's going to do too much damage, so I have to double shield everything, right? But we have a great opportunity here. We go for the foul play, it lands, and now what we're going to be able to do is go for power up punch for the shield bait. So what I'm going to look to do here is shield the next charge move. I'm going to do 2 counters and then a power up punch here. This is going to be getting the final shield from my opponent. And then I might just be able to counter down because of the boost damage. So we do see 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and go for the power-up punch because that incinerate might have got me right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw the damage. We counter swap back into Skarmory, and we have the Brave Bird ready to go to knock out the Superior. So Talonflame, right? Able to take it down in that situation, but like I said at the beginning of the video, boom! It's kind of tough if it's on the lead, right? So good game. All right, moving to the next one. Skarmory on the lead versus Shadow Dragonite. So this is another pretty decent matchup, and what you guys are going to see basically the rest of this video. When I was recording my battles, I literally saw, I would say about 80% of my games was a dragon flying lead. So it was Shadow Dragonite or Altaria. Now I decided to shield the superpower, and they do swap in a Vigoroth. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Sky Attack right here. And then I'm going to have to go into the Mirror, which is kind of tough because I am behind on counter damage. But what I'm hoping is that I can soft lose this mid game, which is going to be okay. And get myself the 1-0 shield advantage because a Scrafty with Foul Play can do a lot to the Shadow Dragonite, right? So that's what I'm looking to do right here. We do get the shield. They're going to go ahead and try to go for the farm down, but they won't get it in time, so they're forced to throw energy, which is now perfect. We're going to come in with that Scrafty. We're going to take a decent amount of damage from counter, but we should be able to get enough energy to almost throw a Foul Play here against the Shadow Dragonite. So we will have to give up a shield on the Body Slam as it's going to do a good amount of damage. But again, Shadow Dragonite is out of energy, and I'm basically out of Foul Play. Now, they decide to come in with Tentacruel, so I'm going to go ahead and load up on energy. I'm going to go for, hopefully, the Foul Play right here, but I think I'm going to have to swap now into my Skarmory because I don't think I'm going to make it to the second one in time, but I do counter swap right here, banking the charge move. They come in with Dragonite, but because I had a little bit of extra energy here, I'm able to outpace. This puts their Tentacruel in a very tough position where they're going to have to get to 2 Scalds in order to knock me out. So they decide to throw the first charge move right here, and thankfully because of my steel typing, they're not going to be able to fast move me down in time. As you guys can see, I'm going to be able to get to a Sky Attack right here, but they do throw the charge move. Now this is fine, right? The energy is now gone on Tentacruel, and I have Foul Play on my Scrafty, but they went for Acid Spray instead, which is not enough damage to take me out, and now I can go for the Sky Attack here. So I basically put them in a checkmate situation, Sky Attack or Foul Play. Boom. Good game, very well played. All right, moving into the next one. We have Skarmory on the lead versus Altaria. Now, this is where I start. These aren't in the exact same order. We do see a Steelix swap in, and I was misclicking right there, so I did a couple extra fast attacks that I shouldn't have. I should have just come in with the Scrafty right away. But what we're going to be seeing is a lot of Altaria leads in the different teams that form with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for Power Up Punch right away. I want to ramp up my damage, and thankfully because of my typing, the Psychic Fangs doesn't do that much to me. And I can basically go for the aggressive farm down here. I'm going to have a lot of energy on the back end. I'm boosted on Scrafty, so I will be able to do quite a bit of Foul Play damage against the Altaria, so we will be able to fully farm down. Now, I don't think I can make it to 2 Foul Plays in time, nor do I think I can go for Power Up Punch and Foul Play. It's going to be a bit close because my defenses were dropped, so I just went for the straight. Yeah, I wouldn't have made it. So I go for the straight Foul Play right there. Skarmory now is going to be coming in. They swap into yet again another Talonflame. So this is Talonflame number 2. Again, it is in the back in a 2-to-1 shield situation for us, which is really good because Vigoroth right here can easily knock out the Talonflame so long as I'm going for the correct amount of counters in between Incinerate, which is going to be 2. So we're going to go ahead and go for the first Rock Slide. We get the shield, and now we're just going to load up on energy. We're going to have to shield again ourselves, but we should be able to knock out the Talonflame as they need 2 more Incinerates here to be able to knock us out. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw the Rock Slide now. And then this will knock out Talonflame. The Altaria coming back in has a very tough decision in front of it. It either has to throw Sky Attack against me or it has to go for the aggressive farm down. It opted to go for the aggressive farm down, which gives me the free Rock Slide. Remember, my Skarmory does have a good bit of energy, so we're going to go ahead and counter swap and go for the Brave Bird to knock out the Altaria. And that is going to be a good game, very well played. So even with a double flyer team, we're able to overcome. Boom, see ya. All right, moving to the next one, Skarmory on Skarmory. Now, this matchup can be a bit dicey, and ultimately it's going to come down to who's winning charge attack priority. But typically with Skarmories, you're likely going to be seeing a Vigoroth, and then you'll probably see something to be able to handle a lot of Lanturns. So you might see a Grassrite, you may see a Mudboy, etc. So we're going to go ahead and no-shield the first one. If people go for Brave Bird there, so be it. But I like going for the Sky Attack first. And then we're going to look to potentially go for Brave Bird to knock them out. But my opponent decides to throw first, which is fine because I know if it's Brave Bird, it's not enough to knock us out. And it is, so we survive, and then we go for our own Brave Bird right here, which will automatically KO if they decide to no-shield because of the defensive drop that they do have. But they decided to shield, which is fine, so I'm going to come in with Vigoroth and load up on energy. Now, I might have to give up a shield here, which I do, which is unfortunate, but Vigoroth has a good amount of energy here, where as long as I'm not facing off against Palossand, we should be pretty good. Alright, let's see what decides to come in. It is going to be a grass type, so it's going to be the superior, and I had mentioned that before. They really like to handle the Lanturns that are pretty common in this meta, as the body slams here are going to put in a lot of work. Now, I'm very curious to see why they came in with superior. My guess is obviously it's going to be a Vigoroth. That's what I'm guessing right here. But Body Slam does get the final shield. And so this is kind of a tough situation to be in, because if they have a flyer, I need to keep Vigoroth alive. So I'm opting to go for to shield, and sure enough they do. They have an Altaria in the back, and this is pretty dicey. The double flyer teams are kind of tough to handle if you don't keep the Skarmory alive, because typically outside of really the Talonflame being the most common, Skarmory is like the best flyer out there because of all the resistance it has to a lot of the charge moves. So now Scrafty coming in. Unfortunately, I thought I was going to be able to get to that body slam on the Vigoroth, but I didn't. Had I known, right, hindsight, I would have swapped out right away after the rock side, because I would have made it to foul play in time. So that is a misplay on my end. Altaria here is going to be able to get to the Sky Attack, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. Unfortunately, we do go down. All right, moving to the next one. Skarmory versus Altaria once again here on the lead. So this is going to be pretty good. They do swap in Vigoroth, so we're going to look to go for the Sky Attack right here. This is going to do a decent amount of chip damage, and then we're going to have to go into Vigoroth at some point, our own Vigoroth. So I'm waiting for them to throw the energy, but they're doing a good job overloading to make sure they have enough for the mirror. So this is kind of tough. I'm going to go ahead and shield, and it was a body slam bait. I'm just like, okay. I thought they were going straight rock slide, unfortunately. So now I'm in a tough position. I can't give up 2 shields, so I decide to let this go through. I go for the next Sky Attack here, and then I'm coming in with my Vigoroth because I have to keep my Skarmory alive. But they decided actually to no shield, so I'm going to come in with Vigoroth anyways, get the farm down to get ahead on energy, and now we see an Altaria. So this is a big tell. If they come in with an Altaria right here to a Vigoroth with energy, they might be pretty weak in the back. Again, they need to be able to handle a lot of maybe Abomasnow, or they need to be able to handle Lanturns, something like that. And Vigoroth can do very well against most of those Pokemon. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Rock Slide right here. They decided to no shield, and now I'm going to go for the Body Slam after getting to Rock Slide, because if they decide to shield here, I might be able to outpace if they don't throw, right? They won't be able to Dragon Breath me down, but they let it go. And the final Pokemon is, in fact, actually Steelix, which is really good for me. Because Scrafty is obviously just going to clean up. We're just going to be able to counter them down as we go ahead and go for the Body Slam, and then we're going to try to get to another, but this is totally fine. They're typically running Psychic Fangs and Crunch, which Scrafty can easily survive. If they start building up a lot of energy, then I will swap to Skarmory, but they decided to surrender, so good game. Alright, moving into the next one, we have Skarmory on the lead versus Altaria. Once again. Okay, we're going to go ahead and play it the same. They swap in a Vigoroth, and this is like rinse and repeat. It's all basically comes down to what is Pokemon number 3. Now, what I'm hoping to do is obviously get myself an advantage. I've knocked out a lot of health here on the Vigoroth. They do go for Rock Slide, so we're going to go ahead and go for Sky Attack, and then we're going to need to come in with our own Vigoroth, but I will have to give up a shield to maintain switch advantage. So we're going to go ahead and look to go for one more Sky Attack here, which we don't get to, unfortunately. So I will This is kind of tough because I'm going to have to let this go. Now, my Skarmory was great at resisting the charge moves of Altaria, right, and the Dragon Breath damage, but Vigoroth here with a lot of energy can also do well in that matchup because of Rock Slide and Body Slam like we've already seen a few times in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and fully counter down. I have a Rock Slide ready to go. If it's Steelix, it's not Steelix in the back. It is the Pancake. The Pancake is here, and this Pokemon is actually really strong in this meta, as Body Slam is just not going to be doing enough damage. In hindsight, I should be swapping way earlier to Scrafty. I let the Stunfisk get way too much energy there, which is going to be my downfall, and I'm going to go ahead and go for foul plays right now just to do as much chip damage as possible. But obviously, if I see the Pancake come in, I need to keep Vigoroth alive to be able to handle the Altaria a bit better. So yeah, ideally, I don't let it get that much energy. I'm going to go ahead and shield now on my Scrafty because what I need to do is try to get rid of this Altaria. So I go for Power Up Punch, seeing if they're going to shield, but they don't. I thought they were going to right there. I think they know that the Pancake with energy, the Unova Stunfisk, obviously, is going to do pretty well, right? It has a lot of energy on it. We knock out the Altaria, but they do decide to throw a charge move here, which is actually pretty good for me. They could have easily just farmed me down, but Mud Bomb going to be thrown, and now I have an opportunity, but ultimately it's because they had way too much energy, right? So Body Slams are unfortunately not enough, as they do still have a shield, and they're going to be able to knock me out with Discharge or Mud Bomb, as they're going to have to throw 2. So yeah, a bit tough right there. I can't get to 3 Body Slams in time, so they will knock me out, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. The Pancake, pretty strong in this meta, if I do say so myself. Alright, moving to the next one. Skarmory on the lead versus Altaria. I put these at the end just because it got so repetitive. We do see a Vigoroth safe swap coming in, and we're just going to rinse and repeat. We're going to try to get ourselves an advantage. Now, this trainer decided to throw right away, which is actually really good for us because this allows us to easily go for Sky Attack and then bail into our own Vigoroth, because now we're getting our damage on them, and we should be able to counter them down in time. So that was a lot better. Had they overloaded on energy before throwing Rock Slide, we would have been in a tough position like you guys have seen before. So this is like optimal for us as we go ahead and go for the Rock Slide here against the Altaria, as they decide to no shield, and then now we're going to go ahead and go for Body Slam, putting them in a really tough position. This obviously won't knock out, but they may be feel inclined to start shielding, and they don't. So now I'm starting to worry what is in the back. Obviously, it might be something extremely weak to Vigoroth. It may not be. It may be a Talonflame. So what I'm going to do here is come in with Skarmory to get a little bit of energy, and then I'll just swap to Scrafty if need be, and sure enough, it is going to be the Steelix, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. This team overall, pretty strong, had a lot of great sets. Again, it's all due to what you see, right? This ELO range, for all of you wondering, was the 2500 ELO range. I just saw Altaria's, Vigoroth's, and a third Pokemon, which Scrafty could usually do well against. Obviously, the ABA Flyers was pretty tough, but we did take down some Talonflames, but I could fully understand Salazzle or Talonflame on the lead being tough for this team. So obviously, if you want to run that to counteract it, by all means, but overall, this team was fun to use. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.